Regarding All right, we're here. We're here, everybody. We're back. 10 minutes for starting. Isn't that good? It took me about 2 hours to wake up because I only got like 5 hours of sleep. So it took me a while to wake up and kind of do stuff and get the stream going. But here we are. Is anyone here? Of course, no. But if you are, press 1 or 2. Maybe comment. Maybe like the VOD while you're at it. If you just managed to just sit on your computer and manage to pull me up somehow, just like the VOD, because I know you're a good guy or girl or they. So I know you're good. So that'd be great. Thank you. Anyway, we're going to talk about Canadian politics. We have a lot of Lily Unleashed. I have a lot of Lily Unleashed. We've been leashing him so much that I kind of feel bad. But anyway, I might just put it all together into one super video. I'm not sure, but there's 2 Lily Unleashed specials today, baby. And it's big news in Canada because we got the premier speaking right now on my TV. But that's breaking news. They all met somewhere to be like, oh my God, what about Trump's tariffs? So we're going to talk about the newest Trump's tariffs, how Canada's going to respond. We got a couple videos lined up, like Power and Politics, a good one. Fight or Back Down, I'm interested in that. But let's just jump in, eh?
To be imposed on Canada on issues like...
So the first up, Trump's latest tariffs against Canada, the latest tariff threats, and then reality check for Canadians when it comes to talks with the U.S. All right? Let's go, Lily Unleashed. I'm
New
ready.
tariffs about to be imposed on Canada on issues like, well, vehicles. We're talking about wine, hockey sticks, whiskey, perhaps more. All of it could be coming down within 30 days. Is this a new threat from Donald Trump or just a negotiating tactic? Hi, I'm Brian Lilly, political columnist with the Toronto Sun. Joining me to talk about this and try and make some sense of it, if any can be made, is Conservative Party MP and critic on the Canada-U.S. relations file, Shuvaloy Majumdar. Shuv, what was your initial reaction when you heard about these new tariffs, 3 new measures aimed at auto, aimed at dairy, aimed at the booze ban that is in most provinces and territories, but not your home province of Alberta?
Listen, I look for the Canadian interest.
Is that true? Hey, I still got American alcohol, baby. Thank God. I'm an Albertan and I'm proud to be it. God damn it. God, I need some merch. I need some Independence merch. If anyone wants to donate for me to get Independence merch straight in Alberta, I'll wear it on stream. I'll do it. God, that would be so. I'll post it. I'll post it up. We'll rock it hard. But I didn't know that ban was only not in Alberta. That's interesting.
And what I know is that these unjustified tariffs are extremely painful for people. Canadians are sick and tired of watching President Trump use them like a punching bag over his tariff and trade issues. There's enough anxiety and uncertainty in our markets today as a result of not having a deal for North America, a deal with the United States. And I think people are extremely frustrated. I think workers are very anxious about their future, and they have every reason to be. And with these these new tariffs that have been levied against our...
What I kind of don't understand about the whole tariffs thing, how they kind of like set up how tariffs are. They're imposing tariffs on Canada. They're hitting Canada with tariffs. It's like tariffs are just a tax on imports. So technically, the U.S. is hitting themselves with a tax on Canadian imports. Sure, that means that the price will go up for Canadian imports and people will buy less in a theoretical market system, right? That's a big deal for capital owners in Canada. But other than that, it's not really a big deal. It's a tax raise on American citizens. So I don't know how we get hit that bad, because we're all like, oh, we want free trade. We'll just go free trade with someone else because we just love free trade. But yeah, I don't know where you go
our
from here with Trump and all
to
this.
50% now. One has to ask the question at some point: when is Canada? When is Mark Carney? When are the Liberals going to take these negotiations seriously to make them stop? So, anger, frustration, knowing that this may have been prevented had we been making the right choices from 16 months ago. And this wait and see approach that the government has deployed has resulted in calamitous concession after calamitous concession in which Canadian workers are paying the price.
Now, your leader, Pierre Poilievre, is calling for the
What
House of Commons
concession, though?
to pull
Which
together the
ones?
International Trade Committee for meetings, for hearings, to hear what the government's plan is on this. The best I can tell from all the people I've been talking to, from watching how the government's reacting, is the government's plan has been wait Donald Trump out. Don't engage until after the midterm. So
Basically,
the prime minister's now saying talks are going to intensify, but I don't know what that means because they haven't really been engaging. They've been paying lip service, and there've been the odd meetings here and there, but both from Canadian sources and American sources, I'm told it's been don't engage, hold back, wait until the midterms. Very political strategy in dealing with a very economic issue.
I'd love to understand what Dominic LeBlanc has been doing in Washington for these many trips that he has been there. Who has he been meeting? What are the receipts from his so-called negotiation efforts here? We do know, as you
true.
said, Brian,
Yeah,
that it's been
sure.
a wait and see approach. And what it has resulted in is Canadian vulnerabilities. While we've been waiting to see what would happen, we have not been building our domestic strength. We've not been building our domestic strength with respect to critical minerals or energy strategic reserve. We've missed the meeting in Washington where they were subscribing champions for critical minerals that could supply into their defense and other markets. We have not been building up our Canadian energy resources by repealing anti-development,
Yeah.
anti-pipeline.
Yeah, but why isn't it being built? Why not? And you can just say, oh, the government. But it's not just the government's fault. It's, there are two parties involved in these deals. It's the private sector and the government. Is it just the government, or do you think a bunch of private billionaires kind of dig their heels in and go, well, we're the only people who are going to build anything unless you want to do it all yourself, government? So, and you're going to raise taxes on who? Us? So why isn't anything being built? It's quite the curious thing how we all love the free market, but nothing gets built under the free market. It's quite interesting. We praise it for its efficiency, but yet we complain endlessly that it sucks and can't build nothing. But that's what we have at the end of the day, is capitalism. And it's not building shit, especially without the help of my tax dollars, it seems. So what do we do? What is to be done? I don't know.
And carbon tax laws that prohibit capital from going in to increasing production. We have not been proposing AutoPac 2.0 across the American heartland, where we would be increasing both Canadian and American auto productions. Instead, we've turned to Beijing and tilted to vehicles that have serious national security concerns for Canadians and for Americans alike.
Whatever.
We have not been making the big decisions to actually unleash our defense industrial base, supplying the free world with
Also, the thing about this argument is, like, do you not think that fucking China thinks the exact same thing about letting Apple or some shit into China? But then all these rich billionaires and right wingers and conservatives are going to complain, oh, China won't allow us into their markets, et cetera, et cetera. Then we do the exact same shit here. So I don't, it's kind of like a two-edged sword type of thing, but like, you can't really do much.
Badly needs right now to serve as a deterrence against our rivals, our shared rivals, I should add. Here we have
I think it's like shared rivals, but like our biggest economic partner is China. China is the best economic partner in the world right now. The United States is volatile as fuck at the moment. Why would I be investing in the USA other than to appease God King Trump?
Country that has over the last 16 months failed to build the strength that would allow us to engage America and the world with real things, real strength, real abilities, real capabilities. Meanwhile, we've been playing a wait and see approach in negotiations, whether it's CUSMA. Today is 1 year after the deadline, which the prime minister has said he would negotiate a deal by. And we see that the CUSMA negotiations are apocalyptically afire. You have American and Mexican negotiations making progress on a lot of issues, repeating a movie that Justin Trudeau had already had last time. We saw that the Americans and the Mexicans made a deal and imposed it on Canada, which is certainly not the kind of circumstances we should be affording. We've been vulnerable to tariffs on a range of sectors. Auto
imposed on Canada? What do you mean? What? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about there. I highly doubt that. Doubt? Press X for doubt?
Lumber, steel, aluminum. And now these ad hoc negotiations, whether it's the Gordie Howe Bridge or slave labor, I should
Yeah,
say
that's
forced
a
labor
joke.
tariffs that the Americans are looking at imposing, these new tariffs, unjustified as they are, we've been made vulnerable by a government that has not taken the negotiation seriously.
The so Canada is part of Kuzma among
Okay, but like honestly, what does Pierre do different in this situation? Is Pierre going to like I don't get this like this narrative of like being a superpower of like Canada just has to Canada has the key to unlock like to be a superpower. We just need to unlock it like an upgrade. It's not there, or else it would be there already. We have resources. We have plenty of land, space, plenty of resources. But what we got is what we got. You know, what we got is what we got. And that's about everything for every fucking nation on Earth. Everyone needs to trade, import, and export their own shit. That's how capital flows. Like, so this whole thing that's like, no one's standing up to Trump. It's like, would you rather just Carney works for the Canadian capitalists? Would you rather just Carney just throw in the towel and give Trump to Canada? Like, I don't know what you do. Like, what appeases Trump? If you just suck his dick, he's just going to want all of Canada. And what, you just go for it? You just throw in the
other
towel?
agreements has said that we would try and stop forced labor. And
Yeah,
yet
right.
very little has been done on that, even by our own government reports. Not relying on American data, but looking at Canadian data. I think we've seized 2 shipments in the past several years, when everyone
Bro, it's
knows
so
the
hot in
problem
here.
is
My
much
hair
bigger.
and my head is
The
not
Americans
helping.
announced that they were looking at 60 different countries, including Canada, for potential tariffs based off of forced labor. They were holding hearings on the issue in Washington. We didn't even send a representative down. Other countries did.
Yeah, I like how this is still like a talking point because like the USA literally has legalized slavery in their prison system. So to you get so it's just an excuse. Donald Trump just uses anything to tariff people. You've disrespected me, tariff. But if that's the standard, Canada still has a shitty policy of using immigrant labor. That's horrible. But if you want to talk about fucking slave labor standards and being tariffed for it, the Americans literally have slavery in their prison system.
We sent what? A memo?
Isn't that like what's it called? Amendment 13 or something? Something 13, the Rule 13
An
of the
incomplete memo.
Constitution or whatever.
The
I have
Mexicans
no
and the
idea.
Peruvians sent actual representatives to make the case for how they're going
There's
to
a whole Netflix
end
documentary about
forced
that, right?
labor in their supply chains going to the United States. We sent an incomplete note instead of a representative. We were completely asleep at the switch, like we don't care about these tariffs or these negotiations. There's 2 issues at play here, Brian. The first is when the opposition has been asking liberals about the performance on forced labors for years. They've been saying everything is fine, nothing to pay attention to. Just in the last 6 months alone, liberal MPs have denied Xinjiang's production of forced labor by Uyghur Muslims in this that have been put into concentration camps by the CCP. They have broken the law 3 years in a row by failing to table the ombudsman's report on how forced labor is affecting Canadian supply chains. And they're only on the 11th hour proposing a bill after having said that there has been no problem for years. The second issue,
The second issue is that capitalism relies on forced labor, on slave labor, on cheap labor. That's what it relies on because it's more profitable that way. And if you want to maximize profits, you need max shitty like lowest. I'm not saying every slave or labor is shitty value or a shitty worker, but that's how you maximize your profits. You squeeze because you're paying them shit. You're paying them shit. Paying them 25 cents to work somewhere across the world, right? Or whatever it is, $1.50, $3.75, whatever it is. Like that's a big problem. But we rely on that. So of course we're all gonna it's nice to be like, oh, we don't want this anymore. But at the end of the day, it's profitable, better for the economy. That's why nothing happens.
Much bigger one, and it's the one that Kuzma, I think, is really centered in. What we have seen in the last several years by Republican and Democrat administrations and by the Congress is a real
Oh, what happened to your
focus
lighting, dude?
on
You look like me right
how
now.
the world will respond to China's rise, its energy, its technology, and its investment mechanisms for dominance in the world.
Yeah,
Whereas
China's
NAFTA
coming.
was
a
built,
bipartisan issue in the United States.
it is a bipartisan issue in the United States. It is genuinely a global issue that is affecting every negotiation everywhere in the world. And how Canada chooses to respond to that should be toward a market democracy tilt, toward the United States, toward countries that share the rule of law, rather than to Beijing, which is what we have seen the Prime Minister march his ministers out for over the last months with great intensity.
That's
We've been
hilarious
sending more
because
people to Beijing.
even Trump was like, I love the Beijing. This is like Red Scare Part 2. Because even Trump was like, it's good for Carney to go get a deal with Beijing.
Like
Good for Canada. Go get a deal.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe at the meeting of the premiers in Charlottetown said that Dominic LeBlanc and others should be camped out in Washington and stay there until we have a deal. We've talked about how
that is quite
the Carney government's approach so far has been wait and see. Do you think these new tariffs
Canadian.
Change that? And when the Prime Minister said,
"We're gonna sit here," it's like what they do, like the tree huggers. We're gonna sit here until you, and then they're just gonna move you or run you over, and then it's
will
like
intensify talks.
Well,
do you think that they will intensify talks with a goal of reaching a deal, or is it still too politically beneficial for them to ensure there's always a fight with Donald Trump to help boost Liberal poll numbers?
The Canadian economy and security is defined by our geography in North America.
I love that question too. Oh my god, I'm just gonna break down every single point of Brian Lilly's. This whole episode is gonna be like an hour long. But that's so funny because even Brian Lilly postures so much in this video to try to be anti-Trump, less Trumpian than he usually is, or act like they're not like Trump. They're moderate conservatives or whatever, common sense conservatives, whatever you want to call it. But there is still that distancing from Trump. Like, you're still doing it. It's still beneficial for you too. Why else would you be setting up questions like the way you are?
And over the last decade, we've seen $1 trillion of capital flow into the United States. And last year, we've seen over $100 billion of capital flow into the United States and send it to Canadian economic projects. Our major sectors are in great crisis. People and workers are under deep anxiety. 43% of manufacturing companies, which are not tariff affected, are looking at closing down or going to the United States. In addition to that, we have had recessionary and flatlining economic performance quarter in, quarter out for this Prime Minister Mark Carney. Our economic fundamentals have not built strength. He has not made the big decisions to unleash our food, energy, and resource capabilities.
Right. Our economic fundamentals, are shit. He's right about this, and it's called capitalism. It's not anything he said after that. Mark Carney's management, who cares? The fundamentals are capitalism. It's complete trash. All it does is extract wealth to the very top, and no one else gets a share or a say of anything. And then all the people with all the money get to withhold their money and do a capital strike when we need shit built. And they're like, well, we don't want to pay that much. Well, okay. Well, we're just going to sit on our billions, trillions, bajillions and figure it out, government. Figure it out, everyone else. We're not gonna do that until we get our deal or whatever, right?
And commodity strength to America and to the world, but wherever we choose to turn to. And he is now looking at a situation where he has to decide whether the interests of the Liberal Party are more important than the interests of Canadian workers. It's unfortunate that he is saying that he's intensifying now when he should have been brought intensity all along. And I think he's discovering, to his shock, that this wait-and-see approach has been hurting Canadians, has been hurting our economy.
I don't think intensity works at all. Look at Mamdani. Look at any time Trump is around Zoran Mamdani, they love each other. They're like the best frenemies of all time. They love to hate each other because you got the fascist and the socialist commie guy, right? So that's the perfect frenemies relationship.
Economy, and he has to reverse course. You noted that he spent most of this last year building middle power diplomacy with Europe and turning to Beijing rather than dispatching his ministers across the United States to Florida, Texas, New York, California, the heartland, where we have so many agricultural and manufacturing partnerships. That's not the kind of intensity a real deal with America deserves. The United States is a very big country, which is beyond Washington, D.C., and Canada's negotiation has to be pitch perfect in all of those theaters at all the same time. That's not what Mark Carney has presented.
Yeah, Canada,
and
relatively small country.
He has been one of the most opposed
like
to transparency
GDP,
that
right?
I have ever seen. I used to advise Stephen Harper and John Baird in previous government. We always used to bring the opposition leaders
the GDP calculator
in for genuine conversations about things that threaten our country, especially something as important as a relationship with the United States. As you know, on the Prime Minister's shoulders rests the responsibility of national unity on one end and our relationship with the United States on the other. It's existential to our country and our people's interests. And the way that he has been so intransigent about all of it and the cost of waiting that he has imposed on so many Canadians is absolutely unjustifiable.
This is
what I really want to concede is that we all understand how hard it.
Dude, look at the fraud clock. 600 billion. What? The fraud clock? Improper payments, overbilling, fraudulent money laundering. God damn. Is that worldwide? No, that's just the US. Okay. That's so funny. I mean, not that fraud is funny, but it's funny to look at this. Revenue per citizen, $16,000. Damn. Oh, my bad.
It is to negotiate with a very unpredictable and tough negotiator in Washington, D.C. We're not trying to constrain the Prime Minister at all in accomplishing what he needs to do. But when we see that he's not taking the major decisions, then we're not as accommodating because these are things that he can control, and he's clearly not been in control of them.
All right, Shuvlomi Jumder,
yeah, of course not.
MP for
the
Calgary
USA is
Heritage.
In control. The USA is the ruling power. Canada is nowhere near the top. We have to suck up to Trump. We cannot be angry at Trump. We cannot have this position of like, we hate you, we're going to fight back or escalate. If anything, we want to de-escalate.
Critic on the cross-border file. Thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a great critic.
Canadian.
Anyway, Lily Unleashed again. This one's only 3 minutes, so let's go.
When it comes to trade talks with the U.S. Hi, I'm Brian Lilly, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. Donald Trump adding more tariffs, or threats of tariffs at least, by August 19th if we don't give him what he wants.
Yes.
We could actually strike an agreement by then and avoid the tariffs, but we'll wait and see. Trump was asked about these tariffs in the Oval Office.
Is that so, Brian Lilly? Where'd you get that source? Source, Brian? So we have the means. We just won't do it.
Office on Tuesday.
Where's your source, Brian, huh? Where's your source at?
About Canada.
I mean, in all fairness to them, they need us to survive. Without us, there's no way they can survive.
That's true, man.
So, but they've been very, very tough over.
Hey, but what are they going to do without our maple syrup,
years,
okay, that is clearly exaggerated. It's not
my audio okay? The one viewer in here? How's the audio?
Would we be as prosperous?
How does it sound from the other side?
No. And if that offends you, then let me give you some stats to wake you up. We are far more dependent on trade with the United States than they are on trade.
Audio's okay? Thanks, bro. Thank you. What's he want? No smoke? I don't know what Trump wants. He just, he just wants to squeeze Canada. He just wants more out of everybody, I think. He just wants, he wants his Qatari jet, but Canada,
In fact, we're more trade dependent.
How do you believe? Let's
with
give
everyone
Wayne Gretzky's hockey stick.
They have a massive economy. They trade within themselves, within their 50 states, and they don't actually need to be worried about trade with other countries the way we do. We barely even trade between our own provinces. It was just yesterday that the 9 premiers got together, minus Quebec, and decided to sign an agreement that we could have free trade within Canada on alcohol. So
yes, everyone
when
gets
it comes to
free trade
with
for
the United
alcohol.
States versus their trade with us,
I don't even
our
drink
exports
alcohol. I don't drink any alcohol. So not for me, but hey, for those who do, great for them, man. Oh yeah, he probably already has like a jersey, I'm sure. They definitely hung out Mar-a-Lago. I'm sure Gretzky brought him like probably one of his whiskeys, right? One of his whiskeys and a stick. I could see
comes to
that. And a
trade with the
jersey,
United
signed
States
jersey.
versus their trade with us, our exports to the United States amount to the equivalent of 19.9% of our GDP. Their exports to us, 1.4% of their GDP. Dollar value, they're just about equal. We have a very fair and balanced trading relationship, but our economy is much smaller. That means we are much more exposed. We can survive without the United States, but that's how important this trading relationship is. So to all those people that say, just wait it out, don't worry about it, forget about a deal with the Americans, we don't need them. Yeah, we do. Should we be expanding our trade with other countries? Absolutely, but we're still going to need the Americans. It's still going to be a major part of our success going forward. Now, the other reality check that I think we have to
Yeah.
have is for all those Canadians saying we have no leverage. We don't have anything to offer to get a deal. That also is not true. Canada has plenty of leverage because we have plenty of things that the Americans want. Critical minerals, oil, energy in general. We are a solid source for their supply chains for things that they cannot produce. We need to package everything that we have to offer, put it all together, and go to the negotiating table. We've got less than 30
Is that
days
the
now to
strat?
avoid these extra tariffs.
Here's the stratter. We're just gonna get all of the best stuff in Canada and just give it to the USA. We're just gonna say, hey, we're gonna take all of our great stuff, all of these resources, and we're just going to make a PowerPoint, okay? Nice PowerPoint of what it could be. You know, Fortress America, North America. Wasn't that what Doug Ford said or whatever the fuck? It's so stupid because like all that matters in the economy talk first is so redundant because the economy is privatized, and so really we're talking about keeping the rich happy, the richest of the rich happy, make sure that they can export their products to the USA. And at the end of the day, they'll just say, well, you keep your job. That's the end of it. But you still don't keep your job if somehow in the future it's replaced by machine upgrades, AI, etc. Then you don't keep your job still. So there's still volatility in the job market every 5 to 7 years, right? So maybe you don't keep it.
If we do it right,
long
we can
term.
potentially
Or maybe
get
you
rid
do.
of or
Maybe you're
lessen
great.
the tariffs that already exist. This is how we need to do it, not Mark Carney's waiting game, which is nothing but pure politics and hurts us economically. We've lost 17,000 manufacturing jobs last month. We've lost 52,000 since Mark Carney became PM, 62,000 manufacturing jobs lost since Donald Trump.
I think this is just more of an admission that the free market sucks. Like every 5 to 7 years, there's a decline, there's a recession, a depression, whatever you want to call it. Every 5 to 7 years, it's called the business cycle. It goes up and then it goes down. That's the important thing to remember is it fucking goes down every 5 to 7 years. So it can't go up forever. There's going to be wars and, famines and supply chain disruptions and, genocides and all that. That's the fun part about capitalism. It's a fun ride. Just hopefully you survive, I guess. I don't know. But
became president of the United States.
That's the important thing to remember. It goes down.
This is
it's
not
built in that
a
it goes
game
down.
to be played. These are real people, real jobs, real businesses, real Canadians hurting. It's time for us to
that
get
is
to
true.
the table. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media. And don't forget.
All right, good one, Brian Lilly. Anyway, kind of thirsty. I need to shit as well. Anyway, if anyone wants me to look at something, feel free to put it in chat. Not links, but maybe titles, because links are banned. But if you want to find something, I'm just gonna take a BRB break right now. So you know how it go. All right, we're back. God, I had to do some chores. I forgot. I had to actually. Well, actually, my nails were bothering me a lot. I don't know if anyone has ever had to desperately clip their nails before. I had to do that. Had to clean. Had to feed the cat. Clean the litter. All that shit. But we're still gonna talk about Canada for now. I got 4 things that I lined up before we start gaming. But anyway, let's just go into it. How to destroy a relationship, Carney. And Canada.
Canada.
CNN.
So the administration announced new big
Canada.
tariffs on a range of Canadian goods. This has Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney saying he's going to enter into intense negotiations with the United States over this. But you
Intense
can only
Carney
imagine
is
what
coming,
that does to a
baby.
relationship which is showing some signs of strain. With
It's
us this
over.
morning, CNN
It
chief
sucks.
data analyst Harry Enton. So how do Canadians feel about the United States, eh?
Oh, Canada. Oh, no. That's what's going on here. You know, it's like a bizarro Harry Houdini. How do you make an alliance disappear? How Canadians view the United States, a threat or cautiously? In 2024, it was just 26%.
That's
Ally
crazy.
or friend?
In 2024, that was like when Trump's first term. Threat or cautiously, like threat or cautious. 26%. I would be so curious to meet that 26%. Who said that in 2024? And then 73% ally or friend in 2024, just 2 years ago. And now it's completely reversed. 74% thinks the threat is a crazy high. But that's crazy. That's
73%.
literally insane.
Now these numbers, inverse, flip around the rosy. Look at this. Okay.
Flip around
now
the
74%.
rosy. What a
Look
quote.
at that. Up nearly 50 points.
He
now
flipped
say
around the
Canadians say
rosy.
that the U.S. should be viewed as a threat or cautiously the ally or friend. Down through the floor, down the St. Lawrence River. Now just 22% of Canadians say they should view the United States as an ally or a friend. That is down, what is that, 51 points. Canadians not liking the way things are
Yikes.
going under the administration of Donald John
That's
Trump.
why every
22%
conservative
of
in the
Canadians
country
view the
is
United
like,
States as an ally
we
or friend,
hate
and they
the
like
States.
everybody.
They like everybody.
But we need
All right.
their economy.
So how do they view the president in terms of, compared to other presidents?
Yeah, okay. So Donald John Trump is the driver behind this drop in the ally and friend from 73% to 22%. An unbelievable drop. You rarely see drops like that over the course of just a few years. And take a look here. Canadians' views on the U.S. president in 2024. Look at this. Confident, 52%. Now, not confident as we go from Biden to Trump, 20%.
Wow.
And then the not confident number, look at that. Up like a rocket from 46% now to 79%. My goodness gracious. Now just 20%.
I didn't mean to do
just
that. I am
20%
so
of Canadians-
shocked that 52% of Canadians were confident in Biden to Trump. That's how shit Biden was. Like, so many Canadians were like, this, even that, like, he's a corpse. What is this? 52% of Canadians were like, thank God Trump's over Biden. Like, wow. What a world.
Have confidence in the U.S. president. That is way down from where we were in the Biden administration. Now it is basically, what is that, 5-1, 4-1 against on the not confident to confidence.
So broadly speaking, are these feelings mutual?
No, that's what's so unbelievable, which is, it used to be Canadians like the U.S. and Americans like Canadians. But now what do we see? We see, look at this, net favorable view of Americans on Canada, plus 65 points. Look at that. Americans still really love Canadians, but Canadians, on the other hand, look at that, the net favorable rating.
The thing is, I have friends in America who, we're all buddies. We all get it. I think the working class people, we all understand it's just politic bullshit. We'll still be buddies. And it's funny to jab each other with the nationalism crap, right? But I'm glad most Americans are still positive about Canada. But Canadians on the U.S. are like, nope, no. Because Canada's a great place, and the U.S. is scary right now. It's becoming a fascist fucking police state hellhole.
Minus 33 points. That is
great.
a difference of nearly 90 points. These numbers used to be far closer to simpatico. They are no longer simpatico. Americans really still like Canada. Canadians don't like the Americans. And again, you can see it right here in these numbers. The ally or friend number, 73%. I should note this is 2023. 73%, and now down to just 22%. My goodness gracious.
3 years ago.
Never see anything like this.
CNN
As I said,
fake
it's like a
news.
bizarro Harry Houdini. You make an alliance, poof, disappear.
All gone unrequited love there from the
Wow.
United States to Canada.
Very nice.
Harry,
Unrequited love. Get over it.
Not at all,
Fuck
not
you.
one bit.
The White House says
No
that President
shot,
Trump's
unrequited
hefty
love,
tariffs,
unrequited
about
love.
$20 billion worth of Canadian goods will take effect in 30 days. He had threatened tariffs in retaliation for wildfire smoke from Canada that drifted into the United States, but his officials say that the new 50% levies are unrelated to that issue. Moments ago at the White House, he said this.
Canada's been very, very tough on us over the years, for many years, and
Long poop.
no other
Oh, yeah.
president's done anything about it. I love
You
Canada.
should have seen how
I
long
love
it
the
was,
people
bro.
of Canada. Many friends that live in Canada, but their leadership from
Look
Trudeau
how
to
gold
the
it is
current
in there. My
leadership.
God.
I mean, in all fairness to them, they need us to survive.
The timing of this announcement
true.
is peculiar following
them to
Trump's
survive.
outwardly friendly meeting with Mark Carney
How will I
just the other
survive
day at the
without
World
Trump?
Cup final. Here's what the Canadian Prime Minister said when asked about the tariffs earlier today.
I spoke with President Trump earlier this morning. We agreed to intensify negotiations in the coming weeks, and the team and myself look forward to doing that. As always, Canadians, governments, business, labor will stand together. To build
Intensify
Canada's strong.
negotiations. We're intensifying right now.
According to research from
Do you
Capital
feel
Economics, about
intense?
5% of Canadian imports would be affected by the latest tariff increase.
Oh no. Oh God,
Power made
no.
Canadian resource history by
Oh,
confirming
no.
the country's first
Not
subsurface
5%
natural
of my
hydrogen.
of my imports.
Exchange, joining us live now from the Canadian
Oh,
capital,
God.
Ottawa, the chief data scientist and founder of
That's how we
Nanos
all
Research,
feel about
Nick
when we talk about the
Nanos.
economy, right?
Nick, just in terms of how Canada has approached this so far, I mean, this is not the first time that Donald Trump has imposed tariffs on Canada. Their sort of strategy has been
everyone
to
hates Canada.
impose retaliatory tariffs. Just walk us through whether that strategy has worked, whether it
I don't know
has
if that-
backfired, especially
I don't
given
think it
where we are
makes
today
any
with this
sense.
new announcement by the Trump administration.
Well, what's clear is that the strategy of retaliatory tariffs from Canada on the United States is actually quite popular in Canada. And you know,
Please
when you
no.
look at the polling, it's clear that
Please,
the government.
Please no. No, 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 no. Please, God, no tariffs, Canada. Please, please, no. I thought conservatives hated taxes. Why are we advocating for more taxes? It's just taxes. Stuff you buy from the States is just going to be more expensive. I don't know what I buy from the States, but I don't want to buy now. If that's the case, retaliatory tariffs, no thanks.
Strategy.
I know they're popular, but they're popular because nobody understands. Nobody understands.
Retaliatory tariffs from Canada on the United States is actually quite popular in Canada. And you know, when you look at the polling, it's clear that the government's strategy aligns with how Canadians feel. Whether that's the best strategy or not, we won't know until after there is an agreement and what might be part of that agreement. But it's interesting in some of the initial reaction in Canada, especially from the leaders of various provinces across the country, they've been giving counsel to the Prime Minister, who I think they'll be meeting with today, to say, better no deal than a bad deal. And I think that's how many Canadians feel when it comes to what may be in store for the binational relationship when it comes to trade.
Well, in one regard, Mark Carney owes his prime ministership to President Trump, really. I think had Trump not attacked Canada, levying these tariffs and claiming that it's the U.S.
I mean, that's not entirely true. You can't, come on. You can't just disrespect Pierre like that. Pierre, I don't know how Pierre fumbled the bag so bad. Pierre was too stinky and too close to Elon and Trump. So everyone, I think that was the more, like, everyone knew that, I think. Like, everyone knew that they were all buddies, right? Before, like, they were tweeting at each other before the fucking election. The Canadian election. And, yeah, Canadians were like, no, thank you. We do not want any part of Trumpism. We want safe liberalism. whatever that means. Neoconservative liberalism, Mark Carney.
Trump not attacked Canada, levying these tariffs and claiming that it's the U.S.'s 51st state. He may not even be in this position, and yet his position seems to differ from some other premiers, namely the Ontario premier, who is demanding dollar for dollar retaliation, while Mark Carney is pushing for more talks with the White House. How is that being perceived by the public? Can Mark Carney at this point...
Why is Doug Ford pushing dollar for dollar? We're not China. We're not China. We can't. We're not China, dude. Doug Ford. Someone tell Doug Ford that we're not China. We do not have the manufacturing base to be China. And just be like, yeah, we'll match you tariff for tariff. United States ups it on China like 150%. China's like, bet. Do it. We'll match. And then they do, and then America's like, oh shit, we need to sell our soybeans or whatever to China. But Canada, I don't think has the fucking... I don't think Canada has it. I don't think we have the... I don't think we have it. We're not as big. We're not as competitive. We're not China. We're just not.
Ford to sort of be the calmest person in the room.
Well, I think he can afford it, at least at this particular point in time. The reason being is that for Canadians, when it comes to uncertainty in the binational relationship, when it comes to worry about the economy, the Canadian economy, that is, they blame Donald Trump. They don't blame Mark Carney for this because they know that the White House, the administration, has been the initiator. And, you know, let's face it, this new tariff, this 50% tariff that the president has announced, I look at it as
doesn't make any sense.
The president just firing a starter pistol that the president wants to have negotiations with Canada. So it's one way to get the attention of the Canadian government and to bring the Canadian government to the table. It's another thing as to whether there will be progress on the trade negotiations, because although
I think Canada wants some, not Canada, I think Trump wants some sort of deal like the UK had with Canada, or the UK had with Trump. Like he wants that. Like he wants that. He wants bow down to Trump, please. Remember that whole thing? I don't know how that story fizzled out, and I don't know how that progress went along.
Canadians overwhelmingly want to have a trade deal with the United States. It's about 80% of Canadians.
Damn,
they don't want to have a bad deal, and I think that's what
we all
Prime
want.
Minister
Free trade,
Carney
isn't that what we
is
all
hoping
want?
to try to navigate, not to look weak,
isn't that what
but to have a deal that is perceived of
we all
as
to be
beneficial
free.
to Canada, but also a win for the United States.
Whoa.
We all want to be free. Free me, Carney, from my chains. Mark's Carney.
What has been Canada's strategy so far in dealing with these tariffs and
what is Canada doing? Because I don't even know, and I'm Canadian.
Businesses that have been affected by these tariffs, as I understand it, there's been loans, there's been financial support, but one of the key areas that Mark Carney has really emphasized is this idea of diversifying away from the United States and not having this sort of over-reliance and over-dependence on a trading partner that, quite frankly, has been somewhat unreliable so far. Just explain to us how Canadian businesses are faring under the Trump administration's policies thus far.
Well, Canadian businesses are definitely feeling the squeeze, especially those that rely on the U.S. as a major market. The strategy for Mark Carney has been international and global. And
the thing is, I'm not a Canadian business owner, so I don't give a fuck, honestly. That's not my class interest. I don't own a business. I don't own capital. I don't own a factory, a deed. I don't employ anybody. I don't care about these small business owners. That's all CNN does. Look at the small businesses. No one gives a fuck about the small businesses. They're getting eaten up by the fucking monopolies in the market, all right? No one cares.
And to diversify trade with Europe and Asia and even the Middle East. And the thing is that we have to remember that for all of these initiatives, and they've been fast and furious for Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, the fact of the matter is that diversifying trade with the United States is a very tall order. You might as well just ask the government to be boiling the ocean, because more than 70% of all our trade is with the United States. Like, diversification would be going from like the mid-70s of all of our trade in the world, or having our trade with the U.S. down to the mid-60s. So the fact of the matter is that even with everything that
Not doing too
the
bad
Canadian
though.
Prime Minister is doing to
Doing
diversify
well?
trade, the reality is that at the end of the
Gotta
day,
refresh my
the United
chat.
States will remain the most important trading partner for Canada, regardless of what happens in terms of talks with Europe, Asia, or any other part of the world.
So after 18 months of tariffs and threats over fentanyl, wildfires,
Fentanyl?
hockey sticks, I mean, you
First
name
time
it.
I'm hearing about fentanyl.
I do wonder if there's a sense of
Hockey
fatigue
sticks? No.
amongst Canadians, just this constant
Not my hockey stick. That's my weight. That's my, I don't know. What do I use that for? Stirring my soup or something? Getting to work? Plowing
tension
it
with
like a
the
broom?
United States, something most people wouldn't have even imagined just 2 years ago. How is that polling, and ultimately, where do they want to see this land?
Well, there's no fatigue yet. We have to remember that Canada is a country that invented ice hockey. Fighting is part of the game. You fight in an ice hockey game, you don't get ejected. You usually go back into the ice
Put
after
Mark
serving a
Carney
penalty. So
and Donald Trump
there's
on
not a
the
lot of
ice then.
fatigue right now, just because Canadians know that the importance of the Canada-US relation is paramount. They're worried about the future, but they still understand that they need stability and what I'll say, a reasonable deal with the United States.
Do
The
we?
big question is
Do we
as
need
there's
stability?
uncertainty in the Canadian economy, as
are you
Canadian
stable?
consumer confidence remains flat, how long a runway will Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney have? We don't know that. But the fact of the matter is that Canadians firmly focus a lot of their anxiety and a lot of their anger at the White House, not necessarily at the Prime Minister, and just see the Prime Minister as someone that's trying to navigate in a world that is much different than it was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, great stuff. Everyone, I think, can see with their own eyes that Trump is just picking on Canada for kind of no reason. A lot of Canadians hate Trump anyway, so they love the fiscal Mark Carney, common sense, invest, whatever he's doing, which is the same shit Pierre said, but with Mark Carney, everyone just loves it, I guess. Put Mark Carney as the resume to be like, oh my God, we're saved. Even though Pierre's been saying this shit for like 2 years now. Not that I'm saying it's right by any means. This is all bullshit. But he's been rallying on that for all the time. But you put someone in a suit and a nice resume who's saying it. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, Mark Carney, my savior.
U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening a new 50%
What is happening with your mic?
$28
Is that me?
billion worth of Canadian goods.
Goodness
it
me.
comes as the premiers gather
Oh
in
my.
Charlottetown, where they'll meet face-to-face with Prime Minister Mark Carney later this week. So how do they think Canada should
They better
respond?
kiss
Well,
and make
that
up.
depends on which premier you ask.
They better
If these
kiss, all right.
talks fail in 29 days, we need to hit them back as
Hit
hard
'em.
as we can.
Hit 'em where it hurts.
I'm tired of the
Right in the
bully
maple
trying
syrup,
to take
baby.
our lunch money all the time. We always seem to be on our back heels. We need to be on the offense.
The ultimate goal isn't to counter tariff and further weaken the North American economy. The ultimate goal is to get to a renewed agreement. A trade agreement that is going to build and
It's going to be so bad for Canada. It's going to be so awful.
Moving forward than maybe it is today with the uncertainty that we're facing.
There is not a chance in hell that U.S. alcohol is going back on the shelf in British Columbia. And I'm proud of that, and I know the British Columbians support that. And the idea of the president that he can bully us
Oh,
into,
what happened to free
whatever he
trade?
wishes
It's over.
is incorrect.
Time now for the Power Panel. With us today, we've got Michelle Cadario.
Reagan is
who's
turning
Deputy
in
Chief
his
Staff to
grave
former
right now,
Prime Minister
everybody.
Paul Martin. Lisa Raitt
Who the
is
hell?
a former Conservative cabinet minister. Nathan Cullen is a former NDP MP and a BC
Oh,
NDP
bald
cabinet
representation
minister.
on the screen.
Rob Benzie is the Queen's Park bureau chief for the Toronto Star. It is good to see you all. Hello from beautiful Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island.
Two
Lisa, I'm
men
gonna
and
start
two
with you,
women.
'cause
Well, I
you
guess
sent me
3
a
men, I
text
guess, the
on
host.
June 23rd. Nearly
Where
a
are
month
they?
ago.
Just,
Have you
someone's
read
just
up
walking
on
around?
Section 338 tariffs? New ones never use the worst of them, and here we are. So, are you collaborating with the Trump administration, or are you just really smart? Well, what's your thoughts on where we are now?
Or are you a traitor
I wish I could
to Canada?
actually use that as a way to make money in life, but I can't. I just follow very carefully.
I'm not loving
what
the
they're
decor
saying in
here,
the United
TBH.
States, and they started bubbling
Like a
out
5
with
out
the
of
Section
10.
338 stuff, probably in May and June. Caught my attention. Candace Lang as well at the Chamber of Commerce in Canada. She noted it too, I think, in a couple of interviews. And it's just because it was swinging for the fences, and it makes sense that Mr. Trump would want to try to do something that no other president had done before, especially since he can just put it into effect with an executive order and 30 days later. And the last part, David, he can actually put tariffs on things that aren't being complained about as being discriminatory. So he can say, you're discriminating against me on booze, but I'm going to tariff dairy as a result, or I'm going to tariff furniture, or I'm going to tariff something else like that. It's a very broad-based kind of tariff that he's using this time.
Imagine the merging of trusted intelligence.
I mean, I don't know where this goes, honestly. I feel like it just goes in Canada giving up way too much just to have some sort of free trade. If there's like actual free trade, real free trade, I don't know. There has to, the Kuzma shit, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I feel like it'll just be renewed anyway. I don't know. It just feels like, why ruin the economy for no reason? Why would that happen? Why? Just why?
Right.
Doesn't make much
so
sense.
Here we are, and Michelle, the net effect of it is, well, he keeps his unprecedented action streak alive, this president does, but there's a countdown clock now ticking before they get implemented and an agreement to intensify negotiations. So could this
we're
be
intensifying
the
right
end game,
now. Do you feel the
or is this another
intensity?
dead end? What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, I think that there's always a third option with Trump as well, right? Like, let's not pretend that it's going to be a binary choice about what 29 days from here now means, because who knows what situation we'll be in 2 days with him. And so, you know, I think, you know, and the other thing I'm curious about is, did the agreement to intensify talks happen before or after he decided to use these arcane kind of never before used tariffs that he found in some dusty textbook? So, you know, all very interesting. I think for sure the government and the Prime Minister has indicated that
Some
they're
archaic
going to,
loophole.
you know, step up the talks. I don't think that there was ever any kind of slowdown on our part or any kind of unwillingness to talk. I think it's about, you know, is it going to be substantive? Are they actually going to be addressing the things on the table? Or is it just going to be a series of demands that they're going to make of the government? And I think it's been quite clear, you know, yes, the premiers all kind of might have had slightly different things to say, but nobody was talking about just bowing down to Donald Trump in any way. You know, certainly Premier Moe said that we want to get a deal. Absolutely, we want to get a deal. David,
I mean, if there's a deal, that has to be spun in some. If there's a deal done, it has to be spun in some way that looks good for Canada, no matter how bad it is.
So I think
you
it's
know,
all nuanced.
there has to be something in there to be like, thank God,
I think that
we're
the
saved.
core
I don't know.
mistake that, you know, Trump is making is on this booze issue that so drives him crazy. Clearly, is you can put it on any shelf, but are Canadians actually going to buy it after this behavior? And so it's. But anyways, the next 30 days are going to be very interesting.
How cheap is it?
Yeah, it's interesting, Nathan. On that, I know there was a push kind of running up to the Christmas holidays in some provinces to put booze back on the shelf from the American supply, and the money they made would go to charity. And what I'm told from my friends back home in Newfoundland and Labrador is people bought things like bourbon, but the wine and stuff is all just sitting there. People have moved on, they found new products, and the
360 million drop in wine, 150 million drop in liquor exports.
None of the provinces are backing down on the booze ban.
Canada is not buying.
All looking at options for how you can
American
retaliate
alcohol.
and escalate should this 30-day countdown clock fail. What are your thoughts on where we are and what everyone's considering?
Well, for both Americans and Canadians, I hope this is a taco. I hope this is something that Trump will chicken out of 3 times fast.
Right, taco. I
because
forgot about that.
This is the
That's such an
nuclear
term
option.
now.
Like,
it's over
this
now.
act that
Taco
he's
is so
relying
done
upon
now that
from
I
a
hear it on
century
CBC
ago
News.
Caused a global recession in the middle of a stock market crash. It made everything worse. It dropped global trade by 65%. Global trade, not just American trade. And who was hurt most were Americans. So if Trump is looking, either he's just given up on the midterms, like he's just decided we're going to lose. He's tried to rig the map. He's tried to cheat his way through, and that's partly working, but not fully enough. But he's started
When
a war,
are the midterms?
and he's driving up the cost of living.
Why
These
does
are
it
the
matter
two
so much?
things that he
I don't
came
know.
in on saying he wouldn't do. The trouble for Mr. Carney, you asked Aaron this, what leverage do we have? As you said, they described the leverage by what they left out of this, which is energy and potash and critical minerals. Those are the things that have leverage for Canada. What'll be challenging for Carney is if we get to that point, if they actually invoke this thing in 29 days' time, Canada is going to need some leverage. Can he keep the premiers together and say, we're going to have to do some counter tariffs, we're going to have to take our own pain? Because making concessions to get your way to a good deal at the end, I don't know if anyone believes that's possible.
Why would counter tariffs make any sense? I still don't get it.
Need and where they
counter tariffs, it's just such a bad idea. Counter tariffs are just raising taxes. Didn't everyone hate taxes? Please no.
Premiers of Saskatchewan and Alberta said, "Don't
just
you dare."
Find somewhere
These
else.
things are off the table. So this is a challenge, but still.
Export
and
your
Rob will
shit.
bring you in after this because Ontario Premier Doug Ford says Canada should do some of these things and should respond with dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs should President Trump act on this new threat. And Ford today suggested going much further than that. Have a listen.
Right.
That's why we can't roll over. We have to hit back. We have to, rather than be on our back heel, as I said, we have to go forward, take the offense. We are an energy powerhouse, and we could dismantle the U.S. if we wanted to, if we all work together. No matter if it's the electricity, and I'm not speaking for the other provinces, I'm going to be very clear. The potash, the oil, we're their #1 customer in the world.
So, Benzie, them
fighting where it hurts, baby.
From Premier Doug Ford, that's not quite matched, let's face it, by any other premier here. Like, they want to stand firm, but no one is talking about necessarily going that far, and Alberta and Saskatchewan say no way. Just what are your thoughts on where Doug Ford finds himself
Doug Ford is
how
just
the premiers are reacting to it?
Canadian Trump, in my opinion. He's not really Trumpism that much, but he's the most Canadian Trump is going to get in Canada, because Canada politics are so boring. Like, no one in Canada has an opinion. It's all just kind of this like milk toasty kind of like neoliberal agreement circle jerk session. And there's no one like Doug Ford who's going to come out and be like that Trump. We got to comment with, prepare to hit him back. And
well, I mean, I don't think
take
that
on
Mr.
some
Ford has been inconsistent.
That.
I mean, remember a year and a half ago, he said the same thing, David, and Ontario supplies the electricity to 1.5 million Americans in 3 U.S. states. And Mr. Ford threatened to shut that down. Howard Lutnick, the Secretary of Commerce, was on the phone so quickly in a panic because Mr. Lutnick was, a new cabinet member. He didn't realize that didn't mean the lights would go out in New York City, but he was very scared. And I think they do respond to they do this kind of action. What made them angry about Doug Ford before? The ads, the Ronald Reagan ads that the Ontario government ran in the United States that were very effective, frankly, because they clearly got under Trump's skin. Mr. Trump is in political trouble domestically. There's a new YouGov poll out today, David.
Feel like it.
He's at 36% approval. He's underwater. And gasoline prices have gone up 15% in 1 week. It's now an average of over $4 a gallon in the U.S. And that's one of those.
That's why I don't drive anymore.
Numbers that sticks in people's craw. The midterms are going to be unkind to his party, the Republicans. He may not care. He's a lame duck. He's an 80-year-old lame duck who will not be running again in 2028, whatever he says on Twitter. So I think
I don't know. He might not be running again, but he might still be there. I don't know.
Flailing, and I think I agree with what Jason Kenney was saying earlier on, and what our friend David Frum has said repeatedly. And Mr. Frum, of course, follows the scene very closely for the Atlantic in the U.S. Time is on our side in the sense that we can wait this administration out. It's going to be difficult, and there are going to be some sacrifices. The 100,000 hockey sticks that we send to the United States that are made of wood, that are the ones that are covered in this one, made in Brantford. That's not good for the company in Brantford, Ontario, that makes those hockey sticks. They're going to need help from the government, and as our other small businesses are going to be wounded by this.
More of my tax dollars going to small businesses. No. Please,
no, there's a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises that are surgically targeted and extremely vulnerable from this round of tariffs if they come into effect as 50%, even if you're CUSMA compliant. That's a devastating level. Look, I want to get a fresh tape in, and this is from Quebec Premier Christine Fréchette, who spoke moments ago about this idea of cutting off electricity to the United States. The vast hydro resources Quebec controls, obviously.
It seems like a horrible idea.
Would you be willing to cut off any hydroelectricity exports to the U.S. Or any other energy
I think
exports to
they're
the US?
bluffing.
Personally, I'm not there. I want us to negotiate at the table, and we'll see in 30 days where we will end up. But I'm not considering nowadays using energy as a retaliatory measure.
Nowadays, though, so is that it's an option on the table? It sounds like.
Not to date, no. It's not an option for me. We'll see where we end up at the end of August.
All right, watch this.
Yeah, sure. I think you're bluffing. Honestly, doubt. Press X to doubt. So you're doubted and honestly taunted at this point.
Hey, so Lisa, that's Premier Frechette there. Daniel Smith earlier said we don't want our energy used as leverage. Scott Moe, we got an interview coming up with him. He says the same thing about energy and potash. So if the key leverage points that have been identified aren't available to the Prime Minister without enormous domestic blowback, how do you do it?
You go back to the table like they were prior to October of last year and exchanging proposals on what we want to accomplish in a comprehensive trade deal.
Yeah,
It's
Canada's
not
gonna
a case where we're threatening.
Canada's going to do their best to, you know, kiss Trump's ass as politely as possible. Like all this intensifying, I doubt. Like press X to doubt. Honestly, I don't. What are you going to be so intense about? The potash? We're gonna fucking. Oh, we'll make you pay with that potash. Oh, buddy. We'll cut off electricity to 1 million people. Still probably doubtful, but I don't believe it's on the table. It's just, I think it's just honestly, like, it's a great way to get, it's a great way to, one, feed the need for, like, poking the bear of, like, the United States, right? Like, some Canadians want the elbows up, want the fucking fight back. So, you know, saying that's on the table is something in that avenue, I guess.
David, the United States has made it clear to the world that they are renegotiating every trade deal that they're part of, and that part of their toolkit is to have a tariff. The question is, how much of a tariff does Canada want to pay? We're not going to be able to get what we had expected.
That's funny,
in terms of
because we don't pay any of it.
On absolutely
it's
everything.
A tax on
What's
imports.
What's the number going to be? That is the negotiation that we should be having at this point in time. And I think that's the negotiation that Janice Charette and that Dominic LeBlanc are seized with, quite frankly. Let's not let these 29 days go to waste because we're trying to figure out whether or not our premiers are going to have a bun fight at the end. I don't like this line of discussion whatsoever. Let's focus. And those small and medium companies, they're not going to hang around waiting to figure out whether or not we can hold on for another 3 years of Donald Trump. They're going to make their decisions today financially as to whether or not they're going to close up shop or move to the United States. I mean, these are serious matters, and we got 29 days.
Listen, name your favorite small medium company right now. Go. Name your favorite mom and pop store to go to. What, Sephora? Is that a medium? What are we talking about? Medium size, small, medium sized stores in Canada. Who is that? Because all I can think of are chains. Not like I don't know, honestly. Like, we live in a monopolistic market society. So to still be out here crying about the small businesses have been suffering since the monopolies took over 10, 15 years ago. You know, the small businesses are dying. They're dead. They're fucking fish in the water.
Shot at and forget about the
They're
rest.
belly up right now.
Stop making political points on this stuff.
Right.
You
okay,
tell
Michelle,
him.
before I get to you, I do want to set it up with this clip from Prime Minister Mark Carney, who made the point that they're not going to waste these 29 days.
All these Canadians are angry.
Not to, because he spoke to Donald Trump this morning, and they've agreed to intensify the negotiations. Have a listen to the Prime Minister.
This is part of the negotiation, so the first objective is to get a comprehensive agreement that benefits, obviously, both countries, that's consistent with CUSMA, CUSMA as it is and CUSMA as it will be, and we'll work towards that. But in parallel, when I say we will do whatever it takes and keep all options, obviously, it's a comprehensive plan.
Okay, so that the Prime Minister, they're making it clear they're going to do these negotiations. And Michelle, one little bit of news that the Prime Minister shared with the premiers in the briefing, or so I'm told, is that on the American side, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been deputized to sort of be the point person on this now. He'll be assisted by Jameson Greer and Howard Lutnick, but Bessent, a successful, serious business guy, is going to be the point person on this.
Serious businessman. He's got a great suit.
Said and where this could go.
Nice collar.
Well, you know what? I think that the Prime Minister's tone is exactly as it should be. You know, he's not the one who's going to be offering idle threats or trying to hypothesize if they don't do this or that. That's not him. That's not how he conducts himself. He's
a nonchalant king, Paul Carney.
And you know, if there are added resources from the administration that are now going to be at the table as well, perhaps that's a good sign that they're actually serious about it. You know, but I think that he's also not going to be trying to stifle the conversation that the premiers are having. And you know, first, it's their right to do so, but also it does. You know, having those kind of voices kind of lets the Americans know that people aren't just ready to roll over necessarily, and that there are people who, you know, the Prime Minister actually has to manage, who have some very, very strong opinions about retaliation. And so, you know, it's not just that, you know, he has to manage some stuff on the domestic side as well. And that kind of has to be taken into consideration at the table too. So, you know, I think it's a little bit of a window perhaps into the Canadians' minds and souls. And, you know, I suspect that Doug Ford does speak for a whole bunch of people who are just frustrated. And no more so than the people that
yes,
Lisa was
the
talking
soul
about
of Canada, your Canadian soul, your national pride, your soul. Yeah, national pride. Don't you feel it? I don't care about nations in general. Nations to me are kind of overrated. Splitting up the world into segments of nations, of different types of nations to just fight each other over economic resources, when we should really just have, like, I don't know, a global agenda at this point. Why are we still killing each other? I feel like we're too smart. Have we advanced beyond that yet? I guess not. But nations to me, overrated. Melt all the borders, melt down nations, the bureaucracy, melt them all down. We'll restart. We can all get together somewhere. I don't know how, but you know, and then we can all, let's all get a big Discord server going and link everybody in the world. And then we'll all just have votes on the Discord on how to run the planet. That seems like a much better strat than having this nation bullshit. Because to me, nations just come from guilds and fucking like the not medieval times, but like, what's it called? Feudalism times. Kingdoms and guilds and little towns and towers. Like, it's all kind of that shit, just modernized. It's all kind of the remnants, right? So I don't really give a fuck. But you know, I have been indoctrinated to love my flag, that's for sure, and sing the anthem. There is some, there's always that.
You know, Nathan, one of the things the Prime Minister told the premiers today, again from my sources, is that he had anticipated that at some point Donald Trump would put a clock on this, either by formally notifying that they were pulling out of CUSMA, the sort of 6-month clock, or a mechanism like this, that you have the tariffs now with a 30-day countdown clock going on it. So,
what's that painting behind them?
Is this a sense that maybe this could be moving to the end game for good or for bad on this, that maybe we find out if there's hope of actual progress and a comprehensive deal, or if it's just this is a dead end with the United States and we've got to adapt to whatever it is we're left with post-Trump?
I'd like to remind us all that the deals that Trump has signed, he hasn't respected. As the U.S. representatives were saying, Trump called this trade agreement that he wants to rip up the best deal in history. He's not a reliable or rational person.
I feel like he just is going off a whim. I feel like every day
American consumers would be motivating to him. Obviously not. He's threatening to make life more expensive for Americans, more destructive for their businesses who trade with Canada. To Lisa's earlier point of just getting to the table and getting to a good deal and accepting the tariffs, I think the use of threats may be part of the reason we get to that table with a better deal than we otherwise would have. Power respects power. Trump has shown
Not
himself
really.
consistently to not really
Like,
respect
maybe.
when we make concessions, which we've made many, and he has made none. So to this point, let's just respect the, if you want to use that term, the way that this guy conducts business. And he wants to be muscular. He wants to be defiant. He doesn't want to follow logic. I think he needs to be threatened in order to arrive at whatever deal we get to.
You got to taunt
With
him.
the
You got to hit him
asterisk
with a taunt.
being, that deal probably isn't worth much. Not even the paper it's written on, because he doesn't respect the deals
Fight back,
he made with
Carney.
Europe or any of the
Hit him
Asian
with a
countries. So
bluff.
you can tell I'm frustrated because we follow a logic that says we need a deal, we're going to have to accept some tariffs, and we shouldn't upset him. We should make concessions to him. We should not upset him in any kind of way. And there's a piece of me that thinks, absolutely not. Like, enough's enough. I can't believe I'm agreeing more with Ford. I think Eby is following into this track as well. And I think there are some others around that table that are saying we have to be able to show a little bit more spine here and say to Americans, American voters, American governors,
yeah,
look, this guy is
I agree with
consistently
that.
doing you damage. We're your friends.
You gotta have
and
a
as Eby
spine.
said, if you
I think everyone could learn a little bit from Zoran Mamdani, the only person that is worth giving some credit to in politics. If you act like Zoran and Trump hate each other, apparently, but every time they're in a room together, they're getting along, having a great old time. Zoran has a spine. He's fucking stands on his beliefs most of the time. But yeah, Canadians are more easily likely, I think, to probably be a pushover and be like, I'm so sorry, Trump. What can we do for you? Like with the fentanyl stuff. It's like, after that fentanyl stuff, there was like a biggest fentanyl bust in like history. And then there was some stat about how fentanyl's going down. And we're like, look, Trump, look at this. We've done our homework. Please respect us. And he's like, I don't care. Who gives a fuck?
you can't find
You're
a friend
Canada.
in Canada, as Americans, this has got to be a lonely world for you, because we're your best friends and we have been for centuries.
I walk a lonely road.
It's deeply frustrating because these ties that bind our two countries together are being consistently weakened and in some cases unraveled by an idiotic president who
I love
does
their
not pay
facial
attention to
expressions
any
on the
logic or any
news. That's
briefings
the
that he
most you'll
gets. And
get
I
out
don't
of
trust
Canadian
the Senate
news.
to do this. Look through this guy's business career. He's a billionaire investor. Are we going to say that he's going to have these industries at heart, or is this just going to be a financial play for him and his friends in the inner billionaire circle around Trump's cabinet?
Well, which one's
I wouldn't
more
want to bet
likely?
on that as an outcome, personally.
Can we bet on that on Polymarket?
Yeah, Benzie, look, I get Nathan's frustrations, right? I mean, you listen to what Jameson Greer said last week in Aspen, I think it was, saying that, no, Canada gets no credit for any of the concessions they've done. They made bad decisions. They made a bad situation. You don't get credit for cleaning up your mess. So even as you give things to them, as they make the demands, it doesn't even get you to even or with them, or barely gets you to even with them. And, you know, as Nathan says,
Can't
how
you
do you
talk-
trust them to do a deal when we saw the Gordie Howe deal was ripped up and changed this
Oh,
week? I
poor
mean,
Gordie
There's a
Howe.
whole trust issue there that even if you get through this crisis, another one could just be around the corner.
Well, obviously.
Take control
Crises
of the
are
and
part of capitalism. We know that here in this stream. Capitalism produces crises, so there will be another one at some point. Who knows when? Just it will be there.
Exactly, David. And this
I need
is
some water.
This is the conundrum, and
That's
I
why
understand
it's
it is very tough. Mr. Carney has a very difficult balancing act. You've got premiers with competing interests. Understandably, I understand why Danielle Smith and Scott Moe are saying what they're saying. I also understand
I
what
don't.
Doug Ford, whose
I don't know what they
economy
said,
here in
but I
Ontario
don't.
is deeply reliant on trade with the U.S. Ontario alone is the #1 trading partner of 17 U.S. states, as the premier is fond of saying. So we are a trade-dependent jurisdiction, and we need, we want the Gordie Howe Bridge opened. We wanted it opened a month ago, and we made concessions to get it open. But to Nathan's point, I'm not really sure what did we get for the concessions that we made. As you were saying, David, Jameson Greer said that in Aspen that we don't get any credit for. So why would we make any more concessions? I mean, why would we put booze back on our shelves? I mean, they don't. If they're not going to be good traders, good negotiators, then what is the point? I mean, it is frustrating, and our economies are entwined. I thought, though, that Mr. Trump maybe saying that Canada, we wouldn't survive without the U.S. I mean, it's easy to say that, I guess. I think Canadians are a lot more resilient, and I wouldn't underestimate Canadians. We're very polite in this country, but we're also pretty firm. And I don't think Canadians like to be pushed around. I don't care whether you're a New Democrat, a Liberal, a Green, a Conservative, or whatever. I think that most Canadians will rally to their leaders, regardless of political stripe, in this kind of faced with this kind of a threat.
So Lisa, how do you try to move past these trust issues, right? Because the Prime Minister said today they don't want piecemeal arrangements, they want a comprehensive agreement, but everything the Americans have done has suggested they want to identify, certain aspects of the economy and apply leverage against it. And on the Gordie Howe Bridge, we have an update now that because of this tariff move, a ribbon-cutting ceremony with Canada and the U.S. on Friday. The Canadian side is not going to participate in it. They still expect the bridge to open on Monday, but they're not going to do a celebratory event.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
So it kind of underscores that corrosive erosion of everything in this relationship. So how do you move back past the trust deficit, Lisa, and try to get something done here?
I believe that there are still good relationships between the two entities that are having discussions with one another. So
I think it's all just pageantry. I think it's all just
counterpart.
It's all just propaganda, pageantry. It's all just fluff.
Remember, there's a big difference between.
There's a thing to remember, and it's called the economic realities. The supply chains are there. The economic ties are there. You don't want those to get hurt. The capitalists don't want those to get hurt. So it only makes sense that it probably the most likely outcome is it will be fine. Hopefully, or maybe there'll be some tariffs. Maybe I don't know.
Bargaining at a table and then making political pronouncements around the negotiations as well. I'm not saying we concede a damn thing at the table. I'll go hard at the table, know what we stand for, make those threats. But I don't think.
Oh, she goes hard in the paint, chat. Oh, she goes hard in the paint.
For example, against Donald Trump. I don't think it's whatsoever. I think what we should be thinking about is constructing the best deal for Canada that actually allows Donald Trump to claim a win so that he can walk away into the midterms and pretend that he did something great. Best deal part 2, whatever. I don't really care. I just want to make sure that we have a good deal. And how do we make him stick to the deal? God knows, but it still doesn't negate the fact that we need to have a deal. We need to have something written on paper. By the way, on the Gordie Howe thing, just one clarification. We didn't rip up a Gordie Howe deal.
Doesn't matter the deal. Who cares? Do we need a deal? Is that really that important?
A little side deal.
What if the deal is absolute garbage?
Going with the feds. That's the U.S. government wanting to be part of it now too.
Right, yes, and it's not a split of tolls, it's just the handing over revenue equal to a split of the tolls, so a distinction kind of without a difference in some ways.
Not really.
But it is what it is. Michelle, going to give you the last word here, but, Lisa said making big threats in public is not helpful, and Mark Carney is not doing that, right? He has been strategic.
He should be wearing his elbow pads, Mark Carney.
Versus cathartic in sort of sounding off and creating big headlines. But the trust issue and the reliability issue of the other partner and their willingness to do the deal, this is the enormous hurdle that has existed all along. So just last word to you on where this might go in the 29 days with that.
Well, as I said off the top, it could go anywhere. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. Like, who really knows? But I think Mark Carney's approach is the best that can be had under the circumstances. He's measured, he's thoughtful, and he's also wanting to have it all together.
They just love Mark Carney.
I think that he's
like 80% of Canadians, 75% of liberals are just so in love with Mark Carney.
Which is what the Trump administration really wanted. Then they would chew us up and spit us out. And we would end up losing, and that there's a whole bunch of different ways that they would, tear up one to just, or play one off against each other. And so he's been very firm in terms of his approach, without being antagonistic. And I think that kind of balance and patience is going to be required as they kind of continue on. I agree with Lisa. He does have the exact right people at the table. Janice Charette and Dominic LeBlanc are incredibly capable and also have a lot of patience and understand.
God, I have a lot of patience watching this whole video. Am I right, Chad? Holy God.
If there's a deal to be had, I think we have the team to do it.
The strategic patience reserve you need to have for moments like this is truly extraordinary. I don't mean this. This is great. You know what I'm talking about.
They could have gone harder, in my opinion. I don't even know what the girl is really. I don't even really know how.
Lisa, the next time.
Like, I didn't like, what were the most extreme opinions on here? Agreeing with Doug Ford? Like, this is what I'm
You
saying.
text me and say, read up on this. I'm going to get a documentary prepared. I'm just not going to
Someone
read up
say
on
their
it 'cause
opinion.
that would have been useful today. Thanks so much, gang. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
I just want to hear my opinion. That's what I want to hear. But that's not represented on this broadcast on CBCNN Live. But anyway, that was that. One of the last things I want to talk about, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync devs strike following layoffs days after a hit remake's launch. So Ubisoft has decided to lay off some the devs after releasing one of their best hits of all time, basically ever. Like, when was their last big hit like this? I don't know. Anyway, the developers at Ubisoft Barcelona have begun striking against the studio after it announced plans to cut 51 jobs just days after the team's work on Black Flag Remake was released to widespread praise. Black Flag Resync has quickly become one of Ubisoft's biggest success stories, with the remake launching to strong review scores and selling more than 2 million copies on the first day. That's crazy. Both critics and fans alike were quick to praise its overhauled visuals, new underwater exploration, and expanded gameplay systems. Despite that success, however, Ubisoft confirmed that 51 devs at Ubisoft Barcelona would be affected by layoffs alongside reductions at the company's studio in Winnipeg, RIP Winnipeg, and Belgrade, causing the Barcelona team to strike against the company. Damn. That's so shitty. You work so long and so hard on this game, and then as soon as it's released and it's amazing, you're just laid off from your job. Like, fuck you, dude. The restructuring was first announced in June when Ubisoft revealed it had decided to transform Ubisoft Barcelona into a Rainbow Six focused studio. Before that shift, they'd spent years working on Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced and were responsible for all of the game's underwater content, one of the remake's most praised additions. Insider Gaming also reported that their contribution extended far beyond those underwater sequences. According to the outlet and the game's developers, the studio developed all swimming systems, underwater mechanics, biomes, and animal behavior. Someone picked these guys up, by the way. Underwater wrecks, smuggler dens, 3 main naval quests, 15 naval side contracts, 4 assassin contracts, they did everything. They did it all. I understand. The timing has left many of the developers frustrated, with quality assurance lead Isabel Claudia Garcia describing the situation as bittersweet after the whole Assassin's Creed team at Ubisoft Barcelona was informed of a collective redundancy plan in a post on social media. Well, the planned layoffs have now sparked industrial action as a Spanish union, God bless them, LA Confederation General whatever, has called for a 3-day strike in protest of the cuts. God bless. Spain is going fucking popping off with the protests. I love Spain. Everyone needs to be more like the Spain workers. Anyway, in a flyer shared by the union, it said, quote, after an intense production, the company claims a, quote, strategic shift to justify these layoffs. After years of dedication to our team, the company has turned its back on us. We will never see the fruits of our labor, and the reward for our hard work will be the loss of our jobs. Isn't that the fucked up part? That's the fucking, God bless this quote, this guy whoever said this quote. God bless him. He's right. As a result, Ubisoft Barcelona staff are holding 3-day strikes July 14th, 15th, and 16th. Is way over now as protests continue. God damn, Ubisoft. Ubisoft, shitty corporate Ubisoft. You know, that's where we're at. So we're gonna take another quick break, and I'll be right back with some more some gaming, I guess. We're gonna do gaming. All right, we're gonna play some Pal World to finish the stream, and hopefully it works. There we are. This is my character, and we're just gonna start the game. We're just gonna rip it right from the start. Now, spoiler alert, I have only played up to the first boss alone. That's as much as I've gone. I'm sure you all, whoever's watching, has seen all that. I'm not gonna take a lot of time to just look around. Well, we'll look around, but talk to people. But I mean, read the dialogue. We're not gonna do any of that reading shit. But yeah, we're just gonna skip all this garbage and just start ripping it. But as we all know, true gamers know, gotta look behind you when you first start the game. Yep, thank you. If you didn't know that was there, you're welcome. That was probably one of the easiest chests in the whole game to find, but you're welcome. All right. Now let's get started on building my base, huh? And last time on my solo run, I built like right next to basically the first statue. We ain't doing that. I was reading a guide on IGN, just a start guide. I'm not going to be following it like step for step, but just have a little bit of a guidance, you know. Fast travel unlocked, but it said we want to make our thing across the bridge. You know, I hand her my device. She's installing my Pip-Boy, my Pal Boy. Thank you, monsieur. The first Islander completed. Open, check the survival guide. Where is that? Right here. Too easy. All right, get to crafting my workbench. Oh, what? That is quite the. I'm gonna catch a chicken real quick. See, this is where I made my first base, and we're not about that life right now. Yep, you're eating this. You're eating these hands, chicken. You're catching these hands, bro. All day. All day. Bam. All right. Extremely weak and far too delicious. Okay. Far too delicious. Maybe it's like, can they evolve? Can pals evolve? I have no idea. But said we wanted to be across the bridge, right? Because all the auras are down here. Like, we want to be down here to, like, fast spawn, right? To quick spawn! Oh, thank God the fall damage is not that hard in this game. Oh my. Like, what bridge? Should we be here? By the waterfall or more down? I think right here in the middle is perfect, honestly. Right here in the middle is completely fine with me. Primitive workbench, obviously overlooking the hill. So I can work on my craft and just, oh, beautiful. Just life right now. Okay. Putting a stone and a pickaxe. All right. Set up a workbench. Crafting an axe and a pickaxe. I know how this works. I've played Minecraft before. I'm no fool. I've also played this game before. As we've mentioned, I'll be the first boss. I beat the first boss, and then I'm just going to delete those files now that we're streaming it. And if anyone cares about watching the series, we'll be on later live tonight. So I'm going to basically finish the stream with some Pal World. Edit this whole stream, throw it up on the channel. Check out the gaming channel, by the way. By the way, chat. And then, yeah, maybe we'll be back later tonight with some more gaming. Some just chill, low-key gaming at the end of the night. But I will be offline while I hang out with my fam. This is a wooden club. We also need stones. Where's some stones at? Of course, right over here. Can this thing help me, stone? Will you do something, chicken? Command pal. Okay, you're useless. I'll just sell them. How much stone can I get out of a whole stamina bar right now? 4? Is that gonna be enough? A lot of arrows, just noticed. Can I pick this up? I'll just, yep. Oh yeah, you're done. Alright, I do enjoy the base building games. As like boring as some of it is, gathering supplies and materials, I do enjoy it, and I do enjoy crafting. Because I'm a true gamer. Okay, now I need to do that all again for my pickaxe. I was also thinking about doing a Minecraft series. I bought the Game Pass. It's such a problem. There was a sale on Game Pass. If you don't have Microsoft Game Pass, this is not a sponsor, by the way, but like if it was, God bless. That would be crazy, considering I have 25 followers. But one can dream, can he? Anyway, I'm just gonna catch you real quick. Oh. Yeah, you're cooked. You're getting cooked. I need somebody to fight. Oh, I don't have a pal sphere. I apologize. Oh, there's one right here. God bless. That's so convenient. Wow. Forgot I did not have any pal spheres. Okay. Large amounts of water pour from its nose. It's like a little teapot. It's a tea fan. It's a little teapot. Do they evolve? I don't want to know. I don't want to spoil it for myself. But what if I'm holding on to like a legendary? That's not happening. Not this early in the game. How much stones do I have? What? Hello? Oh, that tea fan is mad at me that I killed his brother. Go, chicken. Get him. Go, chicken. Don't you hurt my chicken. Get him, chicken. Get absolutely cooked. Hopefully my chicken, does my chicken get some XP from that? There's an egg over here. Getting a little sidetracked, but there's lots of pals around. Back to the workbench. Back to the grind. We'll catch pals once it tells us to. We gotta work through these little quests right now. Get the pickaxe going. What's shiny? I'm hearing a shiny. I'm also gonna make this wooden club. Like a chesty around here? A chesticle or something? Oh, it's that lamb ball right there, isn't it? My precious lamb ball. Level 8 lamb ball. Alright, I'm going all in. I should be using my bat, huh? Is it dead? Where's this health bar? Way up high. Oh my god, it's huge. I don't have any pal spheres. I'm an idiot. I'm a dummy. Never mind, retreat. We need to retreat from this fight. This has been a big mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize. You win. You win. You win. You win. Tab, I need to boost my stats. It said... Oh, yeah, he just cooked me right there. Okay, I just gotta go. I'm just gonna go. He's still following me, this bastard? I need the music to stop. Okay. IGN said stamina and work speed. So we'll do one of each. Okay. All right, open the technology with T. I just do this. Open the PAL box, PAL sphere. I should probably look at what I need. Produce a PAL sphere from a primitive workbench. Mine the blue node fragments. Gotcha. Got it. I have 11. I'm just gonna fucking unlock them all, baby. Perfect. Could have gotten a PAL bed, but, you know, we'll worry about that later. So what do I need to do now? I need to mine blue nodes. Right. This is not a blue node, but I'll take it. Yeah, produce some PAL spheres. That's a good start. I need to do that before I just go after a level 8 lamb ball like that. The lamb ball despawn? I assume so. Messed up his whole vibe. Alright. I'm just gonna craft the maximum amount. Fuck me. Can I summon a pal right now to help out? Can you help me out, dude? Hey, chicken. He's not suitable for handiwork. Can I ride my dead elephant? I cannot. Whatever. Place a PAL box. Note a base's boundaries are determined by a PAL box placement. Right. PAL box. Where's our base gonna be? Our PAL box gonna be right here, buddy. We're on the ledge. It's gonna face this way. Doesn't need this much room. We'll put it right here, actually. Right fucking there. Bam. Box menu, my elephant needs to heal. 10 minutes. That sucks. Deploy a work pal to the base. All right. Chicken. Can you do anything, chicken? He can grow. He can do... Okay. There you go, chicken. You're doing wonders around here. Work hard, my fellow worker. Filling your belly. All right. Base upgrades. I need to build a wooden chest. Wooden chest. I need some stone. Always need some cojones, don't I? Never enough stones in my pants. That's what Mom always said. I don't get it. How do I need stones if I'm making a wood chest? Makes sense to that one. I'll put my chest right next to my workbench, I guess. Seems alright. I think I'm gonna put my actual house base on the other side. This is gonna be our little work area. So this is my chest. I'll put my stone, my wood in there. My platinum fragments. Or... yeah. Mission complete. Open inventory, use food. Okay, use food to eat food. Eat food. Eat it all, bitch. Owls without a bed will get stressed. Base upgrades. Upgrade the base. Level 2. Bam. Alright, we out here building, chat. We out here building right now. Building relationships. Building a home. I want that level 8 lamb ball. Did it despawn? I'm so sad. Anyway, we're gonna build a PAL bed real quick and capture a lamb ball. Okay. All right. I would rather have a high level lamb ball. Is there any good ones around here? Any good lamb balls? Level 1, level 3 is about as good as it's gonna get, it seems. Let's take this real quick. Where'd my chicken go? I have no pals on me. Get cooked. Oh, bring it. I'm just gonna catch you for the XP, bud. Cooked him. Oh, you chicken. I just need more workers, honestly. I just need people to work on my base. Just catching all these pals will work for me forever. All right, let's mine this too. Just gonna use the whole stamina bar, and then I'll enhance my stamina. Too easy. Capture a lamb ball. Did I not capture a lamb ball? Am I supposed? Oh, I was supposed to capture 3 of them. Okay. Okay. Oh, where's that level 8 lamb ball, bitch? Yeah, you're getting spanked today, lamb ball. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, that's another one. And I'm just gonna, you know. Yup. I'm gonna be the lamb ball king. Yeah, you can be mine too, I think. Just catch them all, honestly. Capture bonus for lamb ball complete. I got a bonus. I got some sort of effigy for lamb ball. Okay. That's neat. So I should be capturing... I should be getting all those effigies, honestly. If I'm going to catch them all. Which I don't know how long this Let's Play is going to be, let's be honest. But, it'll be sizable. Anyway, more importantly, did anyone watch that the speed show, Chad? Did you catch the speed show? Yes? Is this a glitch? Someone tell the devs about this one. What? What is happening right now? Devs? Hey, devs. Someone explain this to me, devs. Hey. Hey, Pal World. What's going on here? Fluffy shield. Oh, yeah. I have unused stat points. Work speed could go up. Stamina's probably better, if I'm gonna be honest. We need to build my pal a bed, by the way. Yeah. How do I build a pal bed? Oh, here we go. I've played this game before, he says. We'll put them right next to the old water. We'll put them nice next to the water. They'll be happy here. Perfect. Amazing. All right, we're kind of cruising. We're kind of cruising. What's my time looking like? Are we on a world record run right now? Probably. What would it say? Equip a common shield. Foundation? Should we build my house, chat? No, not yet. I need to unlock clothes technology. Because I'm a caveman. I've discovered cloth. And a common shield. Here we are. Berry plantation 2. What else? This thing? I was kind of like, I have 3 points. A feed box could be important, or a normal parachute could be good. Get the parachute going. And then I'll do cloth. I need cloth to make the cloth outfit, right? So that makes sense. Anyway, I got 2 beds, and I got to put some pals away. I got 3 fucking lamb balls here. Why? What? Does the levels only matter in combat? Like, why should I be... is there any reason not to have these lamb balls just in my party instead? You know? Alright, build a campfire. Let's get on that. Let's gather around the campfire. Sorry. I'm gonna get fucking DMCA claimed so hard this stream. It's never going up. I can't tell if that's Coke or water. It's so watered down. Ooh, lamb kebabs. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just gonna have some lamb kebabs. You hear that, lamb ball? I'm gonna have some lamb kebabs. Hope you don't mind. Fried egg? That seems fucking delicious. I'll fry some eggs up over the fire. Making me hungry. Oh, you know what I want for dinner? Eggs on toast. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's just fucking make all of our food. Okay, that's not that much. Never mind. Build shoddy bed. I'm gonna build my house. I'm gonna build it on this side. Foundations. Okay. This is where it becomes really critical. Yeah, right here. Right off the side, basically. Not placed on the ground. Okay. Boom. And then what else? Triangular foundation. There we go. Bam. Insufficient materials. Oh, you're shitting me. Oh, you are shitting me, buddy. Insufficient materials. I'll show you insufficient materials in my pants. I got empty pockets right now. That's not funny. That's stupid. An attempt at a joke. Barely. That's why I don't get straight A's, chat, because this is the effort that gets put in, isn't it? Just sitting here playing Power, but it's enough for some people, just not for me. You know, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Just having a dilemma while I just chop down wood. Alright, I'm carrying too much wood. Time to build. Bam. 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 Can I have like a hovering floor? What is this work? Bam. Oh yeah, use the wooden roofs to step on. Oh yeah, I'm a genius. Oh my god, I have found a way. Oh yeah, we've done it, chat. Oh my god, beautiful. But now I need some walls up in this bitch. Wall and window. We'll have a window right out to my base, I think. Is there a bigger window than that? No. Okay. Oh yes. Look. Oh my god, yes. Oh. Wooden door. We'll put the wooden door on this side. We're definitely gonna have a double stack here. We're gonna have an upstairs for sure. It can't go right. Yeah, that makes the most sense, I think. Oh, I'm gonna die if I don't get around the fire. Oh my god. Build shoddy bed, build repair bench. Well, I'll build a repair bench right now. Tell you what. Tell you what. Damn. Look at this placement. Well, get over it. Oh, I'm gonna eat lamb ball. I'm thinking about eating lamb ball, honestly. Okay, can I sleep in the pal bed? Is that an option? It is. Okay. Sleep. Good night. Okay, I need to make cloth. Make all this, yes. Yes, sir. Bro, my cat is just passed out underneath my desk, just on his back, sleeping with his paws up. He is passed out right now. Thank you, lamb ball. Even though I've been eating your brethren, you are still helping me. Thank you. Okay, just auto-equipped, I think. Is that what just happened there? Definitely looks like it. Yes. You idiot. I need a bow. Wood, stone, and fiber. Seems like I need to go chop down a little tree or so. Alright, that should be enough, maybe, right? Think we can get that, chat? Can we get it? I think I need a bow first. And more pals on me to die in my honor. They don't die, they just get knocked out and I put them in the heal ball. You know what Pokemon has fucked me up so bad is that I want to just go to the respawner. The whatever health clinic in Pokemon. The Poke Center. That's where I want to go when my pals die. That's how bad Pokemon has damaged my brain. All right. Let's see if this is enough. All right. Need my parachute. I think I built a shitty bed in my house. Who's making that noise? Is that you, Lamball? What the fuck is that? Okay, can I repair all items? I hope I can't repair all. Okay, I don't have enough. Got it. Quick stack that. Too easy. Okay, now let's build my shit bed. I need more wood and a piece of wool. I need some wool? I need wood. Okay, basically need everything. I also gotta go hunt a lamb ball, apparently. Hey, lamb ball. Hey, bud. Get it, chicken. Get it. Oh, how do I definitely fucked up. Oh, no, I didn't. I need that wool. I don't need to capture it. Yeah, you're done. Yeah, lamb ball, you're lamb meat now in my tummy. Oh, hello, chicken. Those chicken's hardcore. Yo, it's giving me fucking I did good music, so let's fucking go. Oh, look at that beautiful tower, Chad. That fucking just mastery of a building. Can I paint it? Is there paint in this game? It's gonna look sick once it's all done. Once it's built over the ridge. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was building my bed. Why don't I use this? Built it for a reason. I'm gonna be sleeping on the second floor, I think, honestly. No, honestly, right now, just sleep down here. Right next to the window. Keep an eye on my pals, keep an eye on everything. You know? Yo, come on, Lambo, hurry up. I'm done, dude. Oh, you got a couple of hammers in there. You go, good on you. Okay, now I'm gonna build, I guess, the second floor. Not placed on the ground. So I only can use roofs then. Eh? Like, I can only use roofs here. Makes sense. Not enough wood. We got a wood problem. We got a wood shortage up in here. Find the small settlement and talk to the chief. Okay. We'll do that as soon as I put a base house, a fucking... Oh, is that a chest up there? As soon as I put a fucking roof on my base. How about that? Hey, chicken. What you doing, buddy? Hope you don't mind me. Oh, come on. Are you serious, bro? There we go. 4 out of 5. We need one more chicken to get that FUG or whatever. Whatever that does. Okay, there's definitely a chesticle over here, so... Gonna go grab that. Oh yeah, frag grenade and a key and what is that? I don't know, a seed and some coins? Looking good. Okay, got too much wood on me and I can't open my parachute because of that. Okay. Honestly, fine with me. Not gonna lie. Fine with me. All right. Because I need all this fucking wood to build my floor. All right. That's not the right floor. I need the roof to build my floor. No, that's sealed off. Just want to seal it. Just want to clean it up. Perfection. That doesn't really work, but that's fine. That's great. Perfect. That's amazing. This is fucking looking like a real house. Like, look at that, dude. This is my house view? Bruh. Look at that view, baby. Look at that view. Anyway. Mission PAL box upgrade available. Yes, please. Build a feed box. We can do that. We have a berry plantation we can build. We don't have a feed box just yet. Feed box. Oh, we can't even unlock it yet because we suck. Okay. Got it. Put some wood in here. Egg. Wool. All of them are basically main building materials. That can go in there. We'll keep the pal spheres, keep the arrows, shish kebabs, food we'll keep. Berries for the berry plantation we'll keep. Let's just make the berry plantation while we can, because fucking why not? It's a berry plantation. You know? Also, I gotta add a pal to my work den. See, the T-Fan can water. And I need him on there to water my berry plantation. Good shit. All right, let's go. Let's-a go, I guess. Let's-a go. Oh, that's what I need. Whatever that shit is. Oh yeah. Get it. Get it. Get it. Yes. Good job, Lamball. My goat. Literally. Lots of chickens around here. I need one more chicken, isn't that right? Don't kill it, Lamball. Woo. You almost fucking did. Amazing, obtained. I received an effigy again. What are those? What do they do? I don't know what the effigy does or what it means, but I'm glad I'm getting them. All right, easy. Didn't even capture this thing yet. I'm hungry. Well, that's some bullshit, isn't it? Don't worry, Lamball. I'm not gonna eat you. I'm just gonna eat your leftover friend. Right. There's a Pokeball right there. That's not a Pokeball. It's a Megasphere. My bad. Get it right, Dad. It's on a Pokeball, Unk. Is there anything else you need to say to me? Say to my face? No? Okay. Okay, I see some new pals around here. It's an egg. Definitely want this guy. Oh my lord. Please, I hit him with a critical hit. Oh, really? Even with a crit? Okay, hit him now. Oh, I don't have a sphere available. Oh my goodness. Oh, is that the only... Oh my god. Ooh, Eggy. Alright, let's talk to this woman. What are you doing? Get in your ball, bro. Ooh, submission. Hello, son. Can I talk to you? Any submissions from you? No? Alright, thank you very much. Effigy. Alright. Improve my ability to capture pals. Amazing. Oh, where's my baseball bat, by the way? I definitely need that. Hey, buds. Hey. Hey, buddy. Yeah, sorry about your friend, but he's mine now. Is that a unicorn? I'm just gonna run to the quest, to be honest. My whole desk is sweaty from me just playing this video game. I just took my arm off the desk. It was just a sweaty, disgusting stain. Not really a stain. That would be probably really embarrassing if it was a stain. I was like Asmongold level. Oh my god. Not to pick on Asmongold. He's probably just the dirtiest, filthiest man I know. Not in real life, but that I just know of. Name a dirtier person. Ooh. Seems like a cool Pokemon down here. Hey, oh, it's an egg. Hello. I don't know what the fuck to do with these eggs. I'm assuming I can grow the Pokemon or pals, right? That's my assumption, but I don't know how to do that. You know? Stat points, enhanced stats, stamina, baby. All day stamina. I should have done work speed there, but whatever. Hey, it's me. What's up, old man? That massive tree off in the distance. The legend said that should you reach the world tree, you'll find the truth behind all there is to know about these lands. Thank you. Alright, small settlement completed. Perfect. And that's about where we're just going to end the stream, right here. This is kind of close to... Basically, we're 2 missions away from where I left off as a during my solo time, making sure the game was fun. So, I'm having a good time. Anyway, thanks for watching the stream. W's for all y'all who joined in.